Thank you very much, Ms. Jaron. Dear colleagues, when it comes to COVID crisis, we know now that we have been lied to since the beginning. The Commission, governments, and pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer presented and promoted their products, the vaccines mostly, as something they are not. Just last week, this was confirmed both by Pfizer and then by the European Commission in COVID Committee of the European Parliament. They presented and promoted vaccines as a product that reduces or even stops spreading of the disease. And they knew that they have no evidence to support that, since the products were never tested for that. Such a product is not yet there, as Commission stated last week. It's not there. But they did pay 70 billion euros for that, nonetheless. And they did use this lie to make and introduce digital green certificate and to force their product on as much people as possible. They also use this to take our rights away, from our human rights to work, to move, to patients' rights. Citizens of Europe have the right to choose their own therapy, and they have the right to informed consent. They should not be denied any medical information. At the same time, they did everything they could to suppress and cancel cheap and safe solutions, such as early treatments that showed great results when scientists and doctors treated their patients. There was simply no money in this, so it had to be suppressed. Family doctors were not able to do their job. The people in the field, on the front line, with results in treating, were ignored in favor of ideology and marketing in ministries of health all around Europe and the world. And finally, they decided to prosecute these doctors as well. They prosecute Croatian doctors as we speak for just doing their job, treating their patients as family doctors with the best solutions they know and have available. Freedom of speech, freedom of opinion were in danger, are in danger, and censorship was everywhere. They prosecuted scientists that have different scientific opinion. Can you believe that? The ones who spoke the truth, who spoke the scientific facts, no matter what. Since the beginning of this crisis, we have been warning the public about irregularities that are happening. And I know now, more than ever, that we are on a right and righteous path. Mr. Perón, representatives of Children's Health Defense, and everybody else, I thank you for everything you are doing and were doing in relation to COVID crisis. Thank you.
If you're born into a billionaire family, and your family's been important since the dawn of human time, that you get a massive ego trip from people complying, and people not complying is a big deal to you, right? You're king. Look at the olden days. If you looked at the king wrong, you'd chop your head off, right? So if you sit and if you come along and give some ridiculous rule, let me make up a fake scenario. Let me make up something totally ridiculous. Let's imagine that everyone was suddenly afraid of the common cold. And let's imagine we told people to wear a mask when they walk in a restaurant, sit down, take it off, eat, put it back on to stand up and go toilet, come back, take it off to eat, to save lives. Let's just do some hypothetical, right? Everybody knows there's no medical backing for that. Everybody knows that's absolutely ridiculous. So why would you do that? Well, you do that to force people to comply so you can sit around and go, that's it. What else is going to make somebody at that level happy besides an ego trip? You think money's going to make them happy? You think you can buy a Ferrari and smile? These people print money. They're above money, right? And they believe, well, I won't say quite rightly, but I understand why they believe it, that they're better than everybody else. They believe that they're literally a different species than everybody else. We're peasants, we're ants. We're nothing to these people. So if they tell you to do something, you better do it. So if you stand up and say, that's dumb, then they go, whoa, 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 who's the big mouth? Oh, this ant's smart. And they'll find a way to check you. And if you're an ant that stands up and then a whole bunch of other ants stand up with you, well, that's where the problems come, right? That's why they got Socrates. Do you know why Socrates died?
I'd love to hear.
He was arrested and he ended up poisoning himself. and killing himself because they were going to execute him. And he was arrested for corrupting the youth because he was convincing the youth to think about not joining the military because the wars were pointless. So corrupting the youth is why Socrates died. If you make the youth think, you're an enemy to the establishment. It's always been the same.
Do you not go to bed at night sometimes and shit yourself?
Yes. Yes. But at this point, I've now made a decision to stand true to my morals and stand true to God and genuinely be a force of good for the world and genuinely try to make people do good things to other people. And if I'm not going to stop doing that. So if I'm going to die, I'm going to die. It's like being in a plane crash. What can you do? The plane's going down. What are you going to do about it? You can scream and be a girl about it, but the plane's still going to crash. So it's kind of not defeatist. It's kind of like you come to terms with the scenario. Am I going to sell my soul and live longer and have less of an impact on the world and know that I'm aiding the devil in its intentions? Or am I going to live a shorter amount of time and do my absolute best to be a positive force for the world and be remembered as such?